Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Locker Talk, episode 23, your live reaction show for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and SummerSlam. I am your host, Koltyn, back to bring you my thoughts on what can only be described as a great weekend of wrestling for the WWE. So I'm not going to spice it up for you. I'm just going to head right into it. And let's start talking about TakeOver Brooklyn. First off, we got to talk about the fact that this is the first time that NXT has been in a big arena. 15,000 plus fans packed the Barclays Center to see NXT. And you had to wonder, is it going to translate over well to having a big crowd? You're going to lose that intimate feeling that NXT has that we all love so much, and we just have to wonder, is it going to translate? Oh boy, did it ever translate well. The crowd was electric the whole night through. It was great to see. Starting off, first off, Tyler Breeze against Jushin Thunder Liger. Still don't like saying that name, so I will probably just call him Thunder Liger or something along those points for the rest of this discussion. Tyler Breeze's entrance was really cool because he's Tyler Breeze, and what do you expect from him? But the match was it was not what I expected it to be. It was a showcase of Mr. Thunder Liger as we expected, but I really thought that Tyler Breeze would get the win in this match. He's a guy who's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle in NXT. As you know, if you're watching this, you probably do watch NXT. But what really gets me most in this match is that Tyler Breeze got in essentially no offense this whole match. He hit one beauty shot for a near fall, and that was about it. Thunder Liger looked great for being 50 years old, but I thought that Tyler Breeze should have got the win. Oh, thank you, Farmer. It's very kind of you. Anyways, I thought that Breeze should have got some offense in. It should have been a more even match, but it was essentially a squash match, and that's really unfortunate. Basically, you could have put anybody in the ring in Tyler Breeze's place, and it wouldn't have made a difference, which is really upsetting to me. I'm a big fan of Prince Pretty, and I hope that he moves on to bigger and better things. It seems that a lot of the big stars have moved out of NXT, so maybe it's finally time for Tyler Breeze to shine. Maybe we could get a good feud going with Tyler Breeze and insert NXT champion here. We'll get to that, but let's be honest. If you don't know by now, what are you doing? Come on. Get your head in there. Get your head in the game. Anyways, yeah, a little disappointed. Anyways, we move on to the NXT Tag Team Championship match. Blake and Murphy against the VOD Villains. I love the VOD Villains. Since they've came back, they were kind of high up on the card for a while, and they dropped out of everything for a while, and now they're back. And the VOD Villains picked up the win in a very exciting match. I really, really enjoyed this match. A lot of high intensity, a lot of emotion. What I loved about TakeOver was just all the emotion that flowed throughout the entire event. All these matches meant something. They built up to something special each and every time, and they all delivered. Big old pop for Blue Pants. Gotta love Blue Pants. Everybody likes Blue Pants. You got to think that they give her a contract eventually, unless she just doesn't want a contract and has no problem with working on a night-to-night basis. But essentially, this is what I'm getting. Oh, Farmer's continuing to tweet about me. Thanks, Farmer. I appreciate you watching live. Number one fan, rock on. But anyway, a huge pop for Blue Pants to be the great equalizer, as it were, against Alexa Bliss. And let me just say something about Alexa Bliss, and this is probably going to sound mean and terrible, but I promise I do mean it in a good manner. Her face and her eyes, there's something about her eyes that just makes her look like a mean person, like a word I don't really want to say because you shouldn't call women that word. But I mean that in a good way. it does wonders for her character. It makes her very believable. And thankfully for the Vaudevillains, they picked the right person to help them, and they won the tag team titles with the Whirling Dervish. Chivalry won out. I was right. It's a good day for chivalry throughout the world, and that proves that chivalry is in fact not dead. So Vaudevillains win. It's a great feeling. I'm sure I shouted rather loudly when they won. I was super excited about this. A lot of people were saying it was a missed opportunity not to have Enzo and Big Cass win the titles or even be in the title match at NXT Brooklyn. I have some thoughts about this. It seems that things are going the way that I suspect they potentially are going, and the way that I hope they're going. I wasn't sure about when I was going to fit this into this reaction, but I think I will do so now. As you know, it was touted throughout the weekend that WWE has sold out in Brooklyn for the entire weekend for NXT TakeOver, for SummerSlam, and for Raw. So my thoughts are that, as with all great debuts, ooh, that was brutal. With all great debuts, Raw, there's no better place than Raw. And I feel like Enzo and Big Cass will make their debut tomorrow night on Raw. You can take that to the bank and know that I said it here first. Enzo and Big Cass will make their debut on Raw to challenge insert WWE Tag Team Championship people's name here, which we'll get to later. Don't you worry. What a match. So yeah, that's why I think that's really the only thing that makes sense about why Enzo and Big Cass will be on NXT this week from Brooklyn instead of on the main show. Oh, that's good tea. But yeah, I really hope that happens, and it seems to me that might be the way it's going with what happened tonight on SummerSlam. Next match, the debut of one Apollo Creed. No, I'm just kidding. It was Apollo Crews. I don't know why I said that. Apollo Crews, Terry Crews, Apollo Creed, whoever this man is, touted as one of the great stars of the indie scenes, has finally made his TV debut on NXT against the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. And I must say here, I really like this Perfect 10 gimmick for Ty Dillinger. It kind of works. You can just put the two together and saves you some time. But I really like this. He's got a pretty decent look. He's got a good physique. The guy can wrestle, which is always great. And I think there's good things coming this way. I was really impressed by Ty Dillinger in this match. A lot of hype coming with Mr. Apollo Crews. And I didn't live up to my expectations. He didn't live up to the hype for me. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think that's a bad thing. You can't just, give everything in the first match. You have to save a little bit of it. I was a little disappointed the finish was only one standing moonsault. I feel like we could have done at least two standing moonsaults to make it a little bit more realistic. But I know Apollo Crews can do a lot more than what he showed. And so I'm not worrying about it. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just really excited to see what he does from here. I think he can be a great star. He's got the great look. He's got that perfect Vince McMahon bodybuilder type look. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen him do a promo ever, but I don't know. He's a great wrestler as well, so 2 out of 3 ain't that bad. People have done a lot more with a lot less. So I hope things really go well for Apollo Crews and Ty Dillinger. I think they both have really bright futures. Next match, Samoa Joe against the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin. I'm getting really sick of people bitching about Baron Corbin. And if last night didn't sway you, I think at this point you're just complaining to be complaining because you like to be cool because complaining is cool. This was easily Baron Corbin's best match in NXT. He had that toe or ankle hold or whatever submission move, and it didn't look terrible. It looked like he actually knew what he was doing. Joe looks great as also. I think it was probably one of his best matches in NXT. You got to see what Samoa Joe is really about in his previous tenure with in the Indies and with TNA and everywhere that Samoa Joe's been. We got to showcase that last night at NXT Brooklyn. I was surprised. I really thought that. Excuse me. I really thought that Samoa Joe would take the loss and Baron Corbin would get the upset victory. I thought that could have continued on, and they could have continued the feud. They might still do that. I don't know. They might still continue that feud. I hope they do. I feel like this feud is potentially the best thing possible for Baron Corbin, putting him in the ring with a guy like Samoa Joe. There's really no one better that they could put him in the ring with. And so I hope this continues. They could definitely have some more great hard-hitting matches. That's what there's a lot of fun hard-hitting matches this weekend, and I really enjoyed seeing them all. Lots of fun. That's why we watch wrestling. We watch wrestling because we like watching grown men beat the living hell out of each other, and it was a lot of fun. So Samoa Joe, Baron Corbin, there just wasn't a bad match on this card. And speaking of wasn't a bad match, the next match, as we get to the main event, Bayley against Sasha Banks in what can only be described as the greatest women's wrestling match of all time. There have been a lot of good women's wrestling matches, but to me, there's no match that had the good storyline, the good wrestling in the ring, the good storytelling in the ring, the great ring psychology, and the great emotion of the storytelling that went through the build-up, that went through the match, and went through the victory afterwards. Really excited that Bayley has won the NXT Women's title. I think it says a lot to set Bayley up to go through this journey that she's went on with Sasha Banks and Charlotte and Becky Lynch all being called up to the main roster. And those are the three women she beat to become NXT Women's Champion, which proves that she deserves to be up with them just as much. Personally, I feel that the reason she's not, it had to be with that hand injury. At least I hope the hand injury was the reason she wasn't called up at the same time. But at the same time, I can also see the fact that other than those four, there's really not a lot of great star power in the women's division in NXT right now. I mean, you have Dana Brooke, who is terrible. Sorry, Steven, I really don't like her. And Emma, who is really good, but hasn't really been given a lot of chance to shine. And you have Carmella and Alexa Bliss. You have Blue Pants, but really the star, those four women, the four horsewomen, are just absolutely incredible, and there's no way that you could hope to match them when it comes to talent. And it was just really great to watch. Sasha Banks, to me, proved last night she is one of the top heels in the company. You know, I would put Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins and Triple H in the Authority, and I'd put Sasha Banks right up there, probably number 3 or number 4. She's definitely a top 5 heel in the company to me. Just the way she worked the match, way she worked Bayley's injured hand, stomping at the hand to keep Bayley from reaching the ropes. It was just a fantastic match. I mean, we all know this. We've all seen it happen on Twitter. Everyone is praising this match. Even Michael Cole praised the match. I don't have to mention Nia Jax. I thought it was Nia Jax, and apparently it's Nia Jax. That's the only comment I'm going to make about that because it's not important. Just overall, at the end, seeing Becky Lynch and Charlotte come out and hug Bayley after winning the title, and then Sasha Banks coming in as well, and we kind of got what I call as like the curtain call version 2. But in a completely different context. This isn't what's something that's going to be considered a bad thing. It was an amazing thing. It was great to see. It broke kayfabe, but honestly, what hasn't broken kayfabe in this day and age? And it was just amazing to see these 4 friends really cherishing this great moment together. It was just fantastic to see. Absolutely fantastic. I cannot state this enough. If you haven't watched the match, if you're an idiot, and you can only be an idiot if you haven't watched this match, go watch it. Go watch it 3 or 4 times. You will enjoy every second of it. This is one of those matches where if somebody doesn't like wrestling, this would be one of the matches that you use to get them into wrestling, to get them enjoy watching the women wrestle. And we'll compare that to what happened tonight. Although to me, it's a little bit of apples and oranges. We'll get into that. I'm trying not to be too harsh. There's too much of people being harsh and ratting on everything, and it bugs the heck out of me. And people just need to learn to enjoy things more in life. I promise they'll be a lot happier. Also, I got my Kevin Owens shirt on yesterday, right in time for TakeOver. Really super excited about that. So that's a lovely, perfect segue into the NXT Championship match, ladder match. Kevin Owens against Finn Balor. I got exactly what I expected from this match. It was a good match. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't amazing. It obviously couldn't have been perfect and amazing, because in a perfect, amazing match, you would have seen a lot more action, but you honestly cannot put Kevin Owens through that when he has a match with Cesaro on SummerSlam the next night. You just can't put him through that risk of injury. I thought they did really well nonetheless. Balor's entrance, it's Balor's entrance, fantastic. Kevin Owens sitting in one of the chairs asleep was classic. Owens just keeps getting better and better with his heel work. He just finds some way to piss people off and just keeps doing better and better. I can't describe how well he is doing as a heel. It saddens me when I think that Vince thinks that he's only an upper mid-card guy. That kind of rubs me the wrong way. But I don't care. With people like Kevin Owens, that stuff doesn't really matter, because they will go out and prove that they are the best, and he does that every night. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, this match, obviously, it wasn't the best. They couldn't really do everything, but it's still, at the same time, it was a hard-hitting match. Kevin Owens took a beating. Some of those bumps he took last night were brutal. The powerbomb he gave to Finn Balor was one of the better powerbombs I've seen in my life. Falling back on that ladder, Owens bounced and hit his neck and the back of his head in the wrong way. It just looked absolutely brutal. But overall, really great coup de grace from the top of the ladder. I called that. That was really cool to see. Owens is not having a good time this weekend with getting stomped in the chest, in the stomach, and in his whole body. Really rough weekend for this guy. But NXT TakeOver, it was really good. I'm really excited to see what the rest of the matches were and continue to see the Brooklyn crowd at this week's NXT tapings. We get to see huge pops. I assume there's got to be from like Zack Ryder and Enzo and Big Cass. Like I said, the big hometown boys will sure to make their presence felt on this week's NXT. So if you don't have the network, go out, get the network. You already have the network. I know you do. Go watch NXT this week if you don't watch NXT, and see some great stuff go on there. That we move on to tonight's show, SummerSlam, all 4 hours and a 1 hour pre-show. My gosh. You could tell the fans have been sitting there for a while. They got a little tired out. About to the ninth match of the night, they were starting to look a little tired. But they soldiered through, and I thought they did pretty well. So with that, once again, let's just roll right into it. First match. Ooh, let's hit the stop broadcasting button. That would be bad. First match of the night, Randy Orton against Sheamus. I thought Sheamus needed a big win here tonight. They obviously tend to book the Money in the Bank holder a little weak, but it was good to see Sheamus get a win. It wasn't a terrible match, as I've said before, but it was still a Sheamus Randy Orton match, and we're all a little tired of it at this point. Also, Mick Foley came out with Jon Stewart at the beginning of the show. I missed that. I was getting some Chipotle to dine on tonight. I hadn't eaten yet today, so they were busy as heck. I don't know why everyone goes to that restaurant. I mean, I do know because it was really, really delicious, and that's why everyone goes. Anywho, Mick Foley, I'm gonna have to go and watch that right after I get done with that. I hear it was really funny. It's Mick Foley. What do you expect? He is the hardcore legend. He's one of my all-time favorites, and so Mick Foley's great. But yeah, Sheamus won the match and potentially to cash in Money in the Bank later. Could have, would have, should have been a great night for Shamo. But yeah, he beat Orton, and it was a decent match. Orton got kicked in the face a few times, and that's not very fun for anyone. Anyways, next match, Los Matadores against the Lucha Dragons, against the Primetime Players, your tag team champions, and the New Day. This was a fun match. I really, really enjoyed this. When these four teams get together, it seems like they always put on a fun, entertaining match. There's a lot of high-flying ability that goes there. And then you have the big power when it comes to Titus O'Neil and Big E, which just makes for a really fun match. I thought it was a really good, well-balanced match. A lot of stuff was going on back and forth. You tag him, he tags you. Moment of the night for me, I thought so until other things happened. I kind of went back on my word, but one of the just the little fun things. I don't know. I believe it was Kofi Kingston who tagged his way in and tried to pin Big E, or Big E tagged himself in and tried to pin Kofi Kingston to win the match. Just something little like that just made the match a lot more fun for me. The New Day are absolutely fantastic, and I'm very proud to say that they have won the tag team championships again, and which as I said earlier about Enzo and Big Cass, I feel like hopefully leads into a great program with Enzo and Cass taking on the New Day. You could have some absolutely amazing promos and everything with that. Xavier Woods against Enzo Amore that's money. That's all it is. It's money, and I really hope that happens. Even throw Carmella in, and I don't know, have her do something, but it should be really fun. I really, really hope that happens. I feel like now is the best time ever to bring those two up, and so I really hope that happens. But I'm beating that horse into the ground. It is long since dead. Excuse me. All right, next up, the show off, the best, Dolph Ziggler. He is better than you. All this, that, and the other against the Russian, Bulgarian, wherever he's from, brute Rusev. This was a good match. There's a lot of stuff that I liked about it. I mean, it wasn't ever going to be a 5-star match. It wasn't ever going to steal the show. I'm just not that big a fan of Rusev's work, but I thought that they did a good job of telling this story. And the way they ended it with the double count out, I know nobody likes a double count out, and nobody likes these kind of fishy finishes, but it obviously extends this feud onward. We're probably going to be getting a mixed tag match at Night of Champions. It sets up that really, really well with Ziggler and Lana against Rusev and Summer Rae. And so really not a lot to be said about this match. It did its job at setting itself up for Night of Champions, and we will move on from there. Next match, there's some interesting intrigue with this match. Stardust and King Barrett. Sorry, bro. I just want to give King Barrett a hug. Wade Barrett, he's Wade Barrett. Come on. Against Neville and the Green Arrow, Stephen Amell. I was pleasantly surprised by this. I think a lot of people were as well. I feel like I gave Stephen Amell a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt than a lot of other people, because I knew he was a big wrestling fan, and it seemed that he was really, really working hard on making this something good and something that he could be proud of. And I felt like he did that really well. He went in there and he took bumps like the rest of the guys. He took more bumps than Hulk Hogan has ever taken in his life. And so when it comes to celebrity involvement, I thought this is one of the better ones that WWE has ever done. You know, a lot of those people get in the ring and they just look terrible. And, you know, they're just there to talk about their new book or their new TV show or their new whatever. But Steven, he looked pretty good in the ring. He took some bumps, he took some hits, he had some offense. And so I was impressed. You know, you could, you know, if you want to have him back again sometime. Not really. We don't need the celebrities. There's other things they could be doing. But for what it's worth, I thought he did a good job. Neville hits the red arrow wearing red trunks. Finally, he's got the trunk thing right. He's got the outfit looking good. So it's interesting to see where these other three guys will go from there. Stardust and Neville probably are done. King Barrett, gosh. Oh, I just feel so bad for him. I just want to give him a hug. We'll hopefully go on to better things. All three of those guys really deserve it. They're all high-class stars who might not have been treated well. Anyways, next match is probably the match that everyone was least looking forward to. Big Show, Miz, Ryback, IC title. I didn't think this match was terrible. I mean, it wasn't great, but I didn't really have high expectations. It was better than I expected it to be. There was a lot going on, kind of like I said with the tag team title match, except without tags. You know, it was people were going around trying to pin this guy, push him off him, go on the other guy, and using his finisher and pushing him out, and all this other stuff that I feel like made the best match that it could have possibly been. I mean, Big Show and Miz, they're nobody's favorite. Maybe they're their own favorites. Miz is probably Miz's favorite. But for what it was, you know, I thought it was a good match for what those three guys could do. I think Ryback needs a legitimate challenger for the Intercontinental title, somebody who can match up with him, maybe in strength or maybe something opposite like speed. Like I said this before, Neville against Ryback, IC title. Come on, we need to make this happen. It would be great. Anyways, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. Bray Wyatt had the horn thing going on his jacket. I like the jacket. It looked cool. The horns kind of freaked me out, give me the heebie-jeebies. But yeah, this was just another hard-hitting match. People had a lot of expectations of this match, thinking that Dean Ambrose was going to turn on Roman Reigns or Roman Reigns was going to turn on Dean Ambrose. And neither of those things happened. A lot of the speculation that people had for tonight's show didn't happen, which I liked. WWE is keeping us on our toes. There's no promise of things happening, you know, no Sting. We didn't need Sting. I don't know why everyone was clamoring for Sting. We didn't need Sting tonight. We had plenty of other star power. We didn't need The Rock. We didn't need Kane. We didn't need any of those guys, but we had Jon Stewart, and that's what matters. But yeah, the team of Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose went over clean on the Wyatts. The Wyatts cannot. My teeth look really good here. Huh, that's weird. The Wyatts can't buy a win to save their life. Bray Wyatt is kind of just that guy who always looks great, and the fans are always behind, but he can never manage to get the win. And the fact that he loses all the time, it doesn't really seem to affect his character or his stock in the company. And so that's good to see. He's a really talented guy. And to me, Luke Harper is one of the most underappreciated workers in WWE. The man puts on great matches. He's a big guy who can move a bit. He can do the power stuff. And I love his power bomb. It's a really cool move. It looks really, really crisp when he does it. But Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns win, keeping the brotherhood intact. They're probably out drinking beers right now or whatever it is that they do. And so I guess what I liked most about this match was the fact that nobody turned heel. They don't need Dean Ambrose to turn heel. They don't need Roman Reigns to turn heel right now. It's just not the right time, and that's okay. That's good. So we move on to the third member of the former member of the Shield, Seth Rollins against John Cena. This was the match of the night for me. Seth Rollins was wrestling life. His life literally depended on it. The man was just going full bore from the beginning, and I don't know what he was doing backstage beforehand, what potential type of illegal substance he was taking to make him so kind of wiry and going for it, or maybe he was just having a really good day. He probably did have a good day knowing what it was going to happen. But Seth Rollins looked fantastic. This is one of the money-making matches for me for Seth Rollins. He looked absolutely fantastic. He pulled out, I assume, everything in his arsenal. He looked really good. Cena looked good as well, except for that springboard stunner. That was a big topic on Twitter. Let's address that real quick. I love the idea of the springboard stunner, and I appreciate Cena trying to vary his moveset. But it worked the first time, and it really hasn't worked since then. And I feel like it's potentially a dangerous move. And so Cena should probably stop trying that one. Find something else to do. There's, I have no doubt in my mind that Cena can do anything else if he wants to. And they'll let him do anything else too, because he is John Cena. But a big moment of the night. Good old Jon Stewart comes out and hits Cena with the chair, and Seth Rollins hits the pedigree on Cena. I think this is the first time the pedigree has won Seth Rollins a match. He doesn't hit it very often, which is saying a lot for a champion. But Seth Rollins pins John Cena to the mat. 1, 2, 3. It was a little bit of a dirty finish, but I think this win is huge for Seth Rollins, the WWE World Heavyweight and United States Champion. I don't see him holding on to that United States Championship for very long. He doesn't need it. Like I said earlier, he is one of the top heels in the company. He can talk the talk, and he proved tonight that he can walk the walk. I think we all knew that, but I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate Seth Rollins' wrestling ability as much. And I made a tweet something along the lines that Seth Rollins was trying to make everyone remember that he was in NXT too, and he could put on those great matches that we expect from NXT each and every week. And so a lot of people didn't like the Jon Stewart involvement. Personally, I did. It was a good way to get the celebrity involved. He had an impact. Seth Rollins won. Nobody saw it coming, which I enjoyed a lot. And so basically this makes tomorrow night's Raw must-see TV. We have to see what happens. Cena's reaction, Rollins' reaction. Will there be any repercussions to Jon Stewart? They could go both ways. They could bring him back for some more stuff, or they could, leave him off completely and just, sorry, Johnny boy, that sucks for you, but that's just the way it is sometimes. Overall, a really, really fantastic match. I think John Cena's had my favorite match on the pay-per-view for about 5 or 6 months now. Really, really good stuff by Cena. This is easily the best year of his career. He could win the Slammy for Superstar of the Year, and nobody should complain. I know they will complain, but you have to admit Cena has been absolutely fantastic this year. I was surprised this match went on so early in the card, but it made me excited, the fact that the Divas match and the Kevin Owens Cesaro match was later. But hey, that brings us right into that Divas 3-team elimination match. Team Bad, Team Bella. How much does it suck for Alicia Fox to be on the team that doesn't have her name in it? That's got to be kind of crappy. You're obviously second fiddle to the damn Bellas. And then Team PCB, Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. Team Bad was pretty bad. My least favorite team, even though they do have Sasha Banks, who is arguably the best women's wrestler out there. Like I said, she is one of the top heels. She is the top heel diva. She's just amazing. A lot of people were upset that Team Bad was eliminated so quickly. Basically, no Sasha Banks input in the match. I don't have a big problem with it. She gave us a great match at TakeOver, and she has made her money for this weekend. She has done a great job, and she didn't need to be out there any longer. She she had done the deed and did what needed to be done, and it was fantastic. Really excited. Becky Lynch got the pin to win the match for Paige, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. I was really, really excited about this. I'm always excited when Becky Lynch wins things and does well. Because as you all know, Becky Lynch is one of my favorite divas, second right behind Bayley. But that's not important right now. But I'm a little scared when it comes to Becky Lynch. I feel like of the three that are up there right now, I feel like she has the least chance to succeed, which is really, really unfortunate to me because she is just as talented as Sasha Banks and Charlotte. And but something apparently is missing. People don't seem to be into Becky Lynch as much as they are Charlotte and Sasha Banks, and that's not to take anything away from Becky Lynch. Or sorry, that's not to take anything away from Charlotte's or Sasha Banks. But I feel like Becky Lynch deserves just as much admiration as those two do. And hey, like spoilers go to the winner. Becky Lynch got the pin, so she should really be the first person to get a match for that Divas title. It's not going to happen. We're going to get to Night of Champions. Like I said, Night of Champions, Nikki will actually defend the title. I know, shocking. But after that point, she will have already eclipsed AJ's record of 290,000 something days. As Divas Champion, she'll become the longest reigning Divas Champion of all time. AJ will be completely wiped from the record books. We won't ever hear her mentioned again, which is sad from a billion-dollar company that they would hold such a grudge as that. But that's politics. That's big business. It's not okay, but we just have to accept it. But really, what gets me is the fact that Nikki Bella could defend the title. Like, she just hasn't defended, but they can book her to win the match in which she defends the title, but they just don't do it. I don't understand. It's like they've forgotten that they control what happens. Sorry if any of you didn't know that. This is a scripted show. I'm sorry, but Dana White was a little bit right. It is kind of fake. Actually, if you want to get pissed off at me, I don't really care. But it is predetermined. We all know this, but we don't care. We watch it and we love it anyways. But WWE has just seemed to forget the fact that they can control and have Nikki Bella win matches when she's defending the title. Anywho, I won't get into that. Important here, Becky Lynch got the win with a nice suplex slam. She kind of mixed it up a little bit there. Good stuff. Anyways, this next match was what everyone was expecting to be match of the night. I don't think it lived up to that moniker just because Seth Rollins did such a hell of a job. But Kevin Owens against Cesaro was another one of those hard-hitting matches that we all love so much. They were just going out there and beating the heck out of each other and doing all these uppercuts and flips and over the top rope and hitting him with this arm and hitting him with that arm and all this other really, really fantastic stuff. I hope that they're not done. I want to see these guys wrestle some more. I mean, I just want to see Kevin Owens wrestle a broomstick, and it would be one of the best matches you've ever seen. Same for Cesaro. Both of them are truly amazing. But yeah, this was a really, really good match. Cesaro is over, but I felt that Kevin Owens needed this win more. He's been on a bit of a losing streak since old John Boy beat him. Balor beat him. Everybody beat him. I think I saw at one point Owens, after losing the first time to Cena, Owens had won like 5% of his matches or just some astronomical number like that, and that's including all the live events and stuff like that. Where live events, the heel obviously is going to lose. But glad to see Kevin Owens on the winning side of things again. I think that's definitely something that we should expect to see more often. Really excited to see where they go now with Kevin Owens and Cesaro together, separately doing whatever they want. Either way, you will have me watching, you will have me interested, and you will have me chanting the whole time. And now we move on to the main event, Brock Lesnar against the Dead Man, the Phenom, the Undertaker. I feel like what SummerSlam and the build-up to SummerSlam was lacking to me was a lack of story. There was no purpose for most of these people to be fighting each other. They were just kind of fighting each other to be fighting each other. And I feel like the big exception here was obviously Taker and Lesnar. We all know the storied history of those two. And I thought it played out really well tonight. Once again, everybody hated the finish. However, I am not one of those people who hated the finish. What now? Gain 4. Oh, it's a spam message. Come on, guys. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, Undertaker and Lesnar. Once again, another hard-hitting match. 100 times better than the WrestleMania 30 match. Undertaker looked like the old Undertaker. He didn't really look like this frail old man. He looked like a guy who could literally kick your ass without any problems. And so this match was really enjoyable. I liked the finish. This obviously sets up for a third match. A lot of intrigue. Undertaker has never tapped out, but technically he did tap out, although the referee didn't see it. I don't know what the ring announcer or the bell keeper was doing, ringing the bell. Charles Robinson played a wonderful job yelling at the timekeeper. I enjoyed that a lot. I'm probably going to go back and watch that just for watching him yell at the timekeeper, yelling, "I tell you when to ring the bell," and you need to do your job, and all this other stuff that I enjoyed a lot. Lesnar defiant at the end, giving Taker the bird as he passes out, was a really good piece of wrestling. I really liked it. Obviously, like I said, it sets up for this next match. We didn't have any outside interference. We still had a controversial ending. But once again, it served a purpose, and that was the point to happen there. And so overall, SummerSlam, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, both were good shows. I've got to get the nod to TakeOver, just in the fact that, like I just said, the matches meant something. They had a story. They were building to something. They had a purpose. And we got the payoff from those. SummerSlam, while they had the whole card, there was good. There wasn't a bad match. They were all good matches, but there really just wasn't a whole lot of meaning to those matches. And I hope WWE continues to hopefully learn from NXT and the fact that they need to have these stories that drive these characters, because that's what can take a great match into an amazing match. And that was what the story was with Sasha Banks and Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. So I hope you all enjoyed watching this. Thank you again, Farmer, for watching live. Thank you all in advance for watching this later. I hope you all enjoyed NXT TakeOver. I hope you all enjoyed SummerSlam. I hope you all enjoyed this show. I promise we will be back doing more episodes and covering WWE's past, present, and future even more. And I hope you enjoy Raw Monday. I hope you enjoy NXT. And most of all, I hope you enjoy your life. Just go out there, enjoy life, try to think positively, use that power of positivity throughout your life. And I promise it will be a lot better in the long run. So with that said, we're going to end the show on our hashtag of the week. So hashtag Hug Life. I am Koltyn. This has been WWE Locker Talk. If you want to follow us on Twitter, join in on our conversations. We love talking to everyone during Raw, NXT, SmackDown, all the pay-per-views. We love talking to everybody and seeing everybody's opinions on wrestling. If you like the video and you want to see more, feel free to like the video, subscribe to our channel. We try to do a podcast every week if we can. We've been a little bit lax in that as of late, But I promise you, we will get back into the swing of things, and we will have the best non-wrestling wrestling show on all of YouTube each and every week. And I just want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you, everyone, for following our Twitter and talking with us, and building a great community of friends and a community of people who love wrestling for wrestling and love talking about wrestling. We enjoy it a lot. And so with that, signing off now. Thank you, and we will hopefully see you next week for another fantastic episode of WWE Locker Talk.